Okay, so we're going to do another video for the Food Goo channel. Now, Lauren, Kate's friend, was going to be in the video with me, but there was some misunderstanding, and actually I don't think my text was very clear. But she is here helping Kate film it, and so we're going to do a video for one of their favorite dishes, actually, which is chicken enchilada. This is almost as authentic and homemade as you could get down at Mexico, but we're going to do it right here in Tupelo, Mississippi. So let's go ahead and I'll show you the ingredients. All of the actual ingredients that I use will be listed at the end of the video, so check it out. I hope that you'll try this dish and make it for your family. Let's get started. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the chicken going. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of oil to the pan. I'm going to season the chicken with some salt and pepper. And all of this is actually going to blend while we're cooking it later, so you'll see you don't have to be too precise on how you spread it, and we'll get it going. Let's season the top side of the chicken. A little more pepper. The blue gloves are optional, although I recommend it. And we're going to add some chili powder to one side of the chicken. You don't want to add it to the first side because it can overheat, and I'll talk about that in just one moment. So we'll get this going. I think I lost my flame. Alright, so here's basically what we're going to do. We're going to saute the chicken. Once it gets a crust on the bottom or some brown, we're going to flip it over, get the other side browned up, then we're going to add some water to it, cover it up, and let it cook for 30 minutes covered on very low heat or medium-low heat. And what we're doing is we're making the shredded chicken that you're used to seeing at the Mexican restaurant. Okay, so our chicken's still cooking. We're going to cook at a total time of about 5 minutes or so. And once we get the chicken caramelized or browned on each side, then we're going to take the chicken out of the pan and we're going to cook an onion, well actually half of a red onion, in the juices that have accumulated. So we'll go ahead and get these cut. I'm going to remove the chicken to a little side dish here. And this chicken obviously is not nearly done, and it's not supposed to be. We're going to finish it by boiling it in some water, and that's what makes the shredded chicken. So I'm going to add the onion. Cook these for probably about a minute or so. We're going to let these go for a while, and then I'm going to add the water to this pan, deglaze it, add the chicken back, and when we come back, the chicken's going to be boiling in the broth, and we'll let that go for about 25 to 30 minutes covered. All right? Okay, so our chicken's boiling. I'm going to cover it with an expensive lid. Actually, I don't have a lid that fits this pan, so I'm going to use some aluminum foil, and watch it because you'll burn the heck out of your hand. So we'll just cover this and let it go on medium-low heat for, again, 25 or 30 minutes. By the way, I've told Kate and Lauren that this is my last solo flight with this. I like having someone here so that I can make fun of, laugh at, or more importantly, to take the center of attention off of me. So if you would like to do like the other guests and pay $500 to star in your own cooking video, then you can email me at the address that will be posted at the end of this video. So let's let this cook for 25 or 30 minutes. It's going to become tender. We'll pull it later, and we're going to get started on the red enchilada sauce. Okay, so now we're going to make the red enchilada sauce, and I'm telling you, this is so good. Please try this. and never ever get that stuff out of the can. This will be delicious. So here's what we're going to do. I've got 1/3 of a cup of oil that's getting very hot over the eye. We're going to cut 2 cloves of garlic in some chunks, and we're going to infuse that oil with the garlic cloves. We're going to let this cook for about 2 minutes. Be sure that you don't get it over brown. You don't want it to start burning, because otherwise it will become bitter. So let's let the oil soak up the flavor of the garlic. Then we're going to add the remaining ingredients, and I'm telling you, this will be delicious. Please try it. All right, so the garlic has been removed from the oil. Now what we're going to add is 4 tablespoons of chili powder. Get the best chili powder that you can afford. Whisk that in, let that cook a little bit. Some cumin, a little bit of salt, black pepper. And as that is cooking, we're going to add 3 tablespoons of tomato paste. And you want the tomato paste to cook but not burn. So keep it stirred. And we're going to cut it down now to about a medium heat, if for no other reason because we're smoking up the house. But you really want to cook this on about a medium low heat at this point. Now we're going to add some flour. I gave you the amounts at the end of the video, so you have to keep watching. And basically what we're doing is we're going to thicken up the sauce with that flour. So let's cook the flour for about 2 minutes or so. Then we're going to add 1/2 can of diced tomatoes. And I'll show you what we do next. Alright, so you can look and see it's a big paste right now, okay? So, and that's what you want. We've cooked the raw taste out of the flour. We're going to add we're going to add the butter first. 2 tablespoons of butter. Let's get that melting. Add 1/2 can of diced tomatoes. And let's keep this cooking. And then we're going to add 2½ cups of chicken broth. Obviously, you should use homemade chicken broth, but if you don't, any kind of chicken broth would do. Use the low sodium so that you can control the amount of salt. Okay, so let me catch you up to speed. First of all, I have my gloves back on because that little nick that you saw started bleeding again. So once the chicken cooled, I pulled it off of the bone and shredded it. And so what we're going to do now is make the filling. So we're going to use about a 1/2 bunch of cilantro. And when you go to buy your cilantro, one day they're very small, one day they're very big. So I'm going to say that we're going to use probably, let's say, 1/3 of a cup of freshly chopped cilantro, very finely diced. And then what I like to do is I freshly grate all of my cheese, but when I do, I like to put it in these cool little containers because it looks better in the refrigerator. Actually, this Mexican cheese, we're going to use 1/2 of a package of that in the chicken mixture. Close enough. Now, we're going to mix this together, and then we're going to start assembling the enchiladas. Put them in a 350-degree oven, which, as you can see, I've already got my oven preheated, and in 30 minutes in the oven, we'll take the foil off, put more cheese on top, and we'll be ready to dig in. Okay, so we're ready to assemble our enchiladas. Now, I've mixed the cheese and the cilantro and the meat, and I'll go ahead and tell you I did test it for salt and pepper, and I added a little bit of each, and I added some chili powder. So just make it taste good for you. Now, you want to add about a tablespoon, and that was more than a tablespoon, but that'll be okay, to the chicken mixture. Add some of the sauce to the bottom of the pan or your Pyrex dish, and this will just keep your enchiladas from sticking. Mix this in good, and now comes the messy part. which is exactly the part that Lauren was supposed to be doing for us. But so what you're going to do is you want to dip your flour tortilla in your sauce, and we're actually going to make this entire work surface a little bit sloppy, but that'll be okay. Add some of your chicken mixture. Obviously could not be simpler. Roll it up, place it in the pan, and we're going to do this throughout the pan. I may go back and add a little more chicken mixture to that one because it looks a little skinny. But when you come back, we'll have all of the enchiladas rolled out, and we'll pick back up from there. So I've got the enchiladas rolled. Now we're going to add as much of this reserved enchilada sauce as we think it needs. But actually, I think we're going to end up using all of it. Perfect. I'll spread that around with a spoon. Actually, if y'all weren't watching, I'd use my hands, but I'm going to use a spoon. Spread it around a little bit. You actually do want to make certain that all of the tortillas have some sauce on it, otherwise it'll get hot in the oven. And we're going to cover it with some aluminum foil and bake it for 30 minutes covered up at 350 degrees. And then we'll take the top off, add some cheese to it, let the cheese melt, and we'll be ready to plate it up. And while it's cooking, I'm going to make some homemade pico de gallo. So I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. Okay, so let's make some pico de gallo. Now, I normally would use a red onion, but I'm not going to this time because I don't have one. But pico de gallo is very, very simple. So we're going to begin with just a little bit of olive oil, probably 3 tablespoons. Doesn't take too much. A little salt. I'll add some lime juice. I'm going to use half a lime right now, and I'll probably end up using the rest of it later. Some cilantro, about 2 tablespoons of cilantro should be plenty. You can keep cooking it, cutting it a little bit more if you like yours more finely chopped, but I'm fine with that, and Lauren's in a hurry, so I'm going to end it there. I'm going to use a half a clove of garlic. You can see all the cilantro bouncing everywhere. Let's cut this onion. I'm going to save some of that onion because we'll taste it and see if it needs more. I'm going to use the flesh of about half of this jalapeno pepper. And of course the peppers vary in how hot they are, so you'll probably just want to add until you taste it and see if it needs more. Let's take the flesh of these tomatoes. I'm going to show you one, and then we'll cut back to see the finished product. Lauren, how's it looking so far?
Looking good.
Don't you wish you were in here?
I sure do.
Okay, so let's add some pico de gallo to our finished product. The enchiladas are smelling delicious, and I don't have a taste tester right now, but See, this just proves there is nothing that I will not go through for you to eat better for your family. But anyway, looks very good. I'm actually going to do the money shot since I begged Lauren over and over and she will not do it. But I won't use a Fred Flintstone spoon. I'll actually get a fork. We're a little bit civilized around here. So let me cut into it and see what it tastes like. By the way,